well, it's just, you trying to be, exercise your parental rights and duties. And I'm like, no. No, it's not. It's the same definition as what you call, or what anyone would call, the right of independence, if you really want to consider it. And she's like, well, what do you mean by that? Because that's an awkward way to put it. And I'm like, it's not. Because you had to develop your independence from your parents, yes? And she's like, yeah, so it's the same problem.
Yes, but not allowing him to spend the weekend with his son because I want him in my bed at my house is a different thing.
Oh, no,
than
no, no,
saying,
no, 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 I'm
we
not,
still
no,
need to-
no, 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 that's out of context. That's out of context. You're taking it out of context, okay? It's the point of him not aggressing authority.
No, but that's what I'm talking about is he would leave Ethan with his mom and go and spend the weekend with his girlfriend
Yes, I know.
and see Ethan like one night of the weekend.
Yes, I know.
And I don't do that. I don't allow that. If
I bitched him out over it. Just let you know, I bitched him out over it because he called me and he's like, so I'm like, dude, where's your kid? And he's like, well, it's at my mom's house. Okay, why is your kid at your mom's house? And he's like, well, visiting my mom. But isn't it your weekend to have the kid? And he's like, well, yeah. So where are you? And why aren't you with your kid? Well, he's at my mom's house. That's fucking great. Where are you? And he's like, well, I'm at my girlfriend's house. Why? So let me get this straight. Are you raising your kid or is your mother? He didn't like that.
This is something I told him from the get-go that was not acceptable to me. I could come to him and spend time with him with his child, but he couldn't abandon his child to come to me.
But that's the whole thing, okay? It's the same way as TDD. TDD right now is kind of dealing with the same problem, okay? His girlfriend doesn't turn into.
You know? It turns into somebody's got to set the standard of priorities, and
But that's what TDD's doing. But that's what TDD's doing. TDD is doing the same, is doing exactly what I tell him to, which is he needs to set his priorities. His priorities are his kid. His priorities are technically not his woman. His woman can take care of herself. She can manage her own priorities. She's supposed to know what the fuck she's doing.
yeah.
So the same priority that y'all both have is supposed to be the kid.
He didn't have to make that choice because I set that boundary.
Well,
now,
no.
He does give Ethan the option a lot of times of going with us or not going with us, and I also told him you need to start.
Hold on.
It's fine to take his opinion into consideration, but he shouldn't have all the authority to make that decision for everywhere we go. Because the minute you have to say that he doesn't have a choice for whatever reason, it's going to be a fight. Why? Because you've always given him the option. Maybe he actually needs to go. Maybe he needs to get away from the TV for a little while and go and do some of the activities that we're doing.
It might help.
I specifically plan child-friendly activities for the majority of the things that I ask for us to do.
Okay, I don't like the word child.
Okay, well,
I really don't. I prefer the word age appropriate.
Okay, I choose activities that are age appropriate and friendly to the age.
Okay.
When I plan things, going fishing, going magnet fishing, going metal detecting, those are all things that he can actively participate in and enjoy. There is no, I'm not asking to go to bars.
Hold on, personally, I wouldn't like you. You know why?
Why?
Because you planned that without my consent. As a kid,
no.
Understand. If you were my parent, I honestly, I would fucking hate you.
Don't plan it without speaking to Ethan.
Okay.
To Ethan, and Ethan is all for it until the moment of,
okay, that's different. That's different.
Then he doesn't want to put down the electronics.
Okay, that's different. You didn't explain it that way. Okay, you just said you made these plans.
I do take his opinions into consideration.
Okay.
I do ask him if he'd like to go try these things, and he says yes until that moment. And David will be like, well, if you want to stay here. And I'm like, really? Like, he was all for this.
Oh.
And don't you think he should at least go try it? He may take an attitude for the first 10 minutes of, this sucks. She made me turn my TV off. But eventually, he may enjoy it. And
Yes.
magnet fishing, he had a fucking blast.
No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
After
But
that
at
initial,
least
after
you're.
the initial pouting period.
No, that's gonna happen. No, that's gonna happen with any kid. Okay, my thing is the same way I discuss it with anyone, and that regardless if it's an adult or whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, because my mom used to do the same thing to me. She would make plans without even discussing it with me, and she'd be like, "Oh, well, you're going because I say you're fucking going." And trust me, that eventually became a fist fight.
But no, I talked to David first. Do you think this is something you would enjoy? Do you think this is something Ethan would enjoy? If he's down for it, then we have a conversation with Ethan. Hey, we're thinking about doing this on this day at this time. Do you want to do this? And usually the answer is, yeah, that sounds like fun. And it's only when it gets down to, hey, dude, you got to get dressed. We're going to go do this. I don't want to.
Okay.
And sometimes there's already an initial investment of buying tickets or purchasing entry fees and things like that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, like we went to Gator Nationals, which is a drag race.
Okay.
David's mom didn't like the idea of us taking Ethan. So she went behind David's back to Michelle.
Why? Well, why?
Because he's a nerdy kid. He should be able to just chill out and relax and watch TV. You shouldn't take him off to he's not going to enjoy this. How would you know? He's never gone.
Oh my
He's
God.
never gone. How would you know he wouldn't enjoy it? Well, she didn't go to David about it. She went to Michelle. And then Michelle's going, I'll keep him. And then David's mom's arguing back, no, he can stay with me. And David was like, first off, it's my time, it's my son, he's going with me. Second off, the tickets have already been purchased. Third, he got onto his mom about the way she went about things because it never should have gone to Michelle. If she objected, she could have brought her concerns to David and had a conversation with him. And she still would have been told the same thing. But she knew that was a losing battle, so she went and tried to get Michelle on her side, which then turned into a battle over who's going to keep Ethan. Fun fact, he went with us to Gator Nationals.
Yeah, that explains a lot. It really does. It really does. Hence,
but no, I'm not about forcing a kid to go do something they don't want to do. They legitimately are not going to have fun with. They aren't going to enjoy.
No.
I don't.
It's forced. Like I say, think of it as a forced condition. For me, I always took it as taking an order. I was raised in the military.
Yes.
I don't take orders anymore.
Right.
I don't have to. I don't have to follow orders. I don't have to listen to authority. You get what I mean? It's that kind of thing.
So there are the parents who what I say goes, and you have no input, no say. You're going to toe the line regardless. I demand 100% authority over you.
I'll kill you.
I am not. That is not how I am. That's not how I am with my kids. It's not how I am with Ethan. Now I do push things to David, like the summer slide and the reading thing we were talking about yesterday.
That's understandable.
This is something that needs to be done, and you don't get to, if you're willing to take half of the fault, if he fails because of this, that is your decision, and I will not press you about it any longer. But you do not get to sit here and chuck the accountability and responsibility onto Michelle if you're not doing anything about it.
That is true.
Now,
that is true.
So he started having Ethan read. It's not every day of the weekend. It's not even every weekend. But you'll hear me on the chat sometimes be like, hey, are you guys going to read tonight?
Yes, I have.
Because, or you told him you were going to read at this time. It is this time you need to go do what you said you were going to do. Because to me, when I give you my word on something, it means something.
It's supposed to.
I have literally made him turn around. We got all the way to the driveway at his house. And I had told Ethan that on the way back to the house, because he had handled another situation in a very mature way and did not throw a tantrum. On the way home, I would get him an icy. From my pocket, I would get it. We got all the way to the driveway.
There you go.
And I looked at David and go, we forgot to stop. Turn around. And we took him back to the gas station, and I got him the icy because I told him I would.
Yes. So hence, that teaches a kid what?
To keep their word. To keep the promises you make.
Yes, to keep your word and to keep the promises you make and to follow through on those promises. Irregardless if you forget or not.
I was tired. I had forgotten. I wanted to go in and lay down. I wanted to relax. But I had told that child I would get him the icy.
You forgot.
And I made good him. And even if we had gotten in there and gotten logged into the game and he goes, hey, we didn't get my icy, I'd have been like, everybody to the car. You know, because I said it.
No, which is fair. Which is fair. That shows positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
That's what he is not getting, is positive reinforcement. Same thing my mom had to learn. Positive reinforcement.
Yes, I want to be a positive example.
No. You cannot be a positive example. All you can be is a positive reinforcement. You can be a better example, and hopefully to him, yes, that is what you are looking for, and hopefully will give him. But the one thing you are aiming for is the positive reinforcement to show that these actions are more positive than the ones he is currently using, correct?
I want him to,
that is what you're asking for. Him to positively use a better action than what he is currently using. So if you follow on his word, then you would expect the same from him, yes?
Yes.
That is positive reinforcement.
David to follow on his word.
That's positive.
I get that at 9:30, he said at 2 o'clock, at 9:30 we're going to eat, and then 9:30 rolls around and he doesn't want to do it. I get it. But you said at 9:30 we're going to read, so you need to go do it.
Yes, and if not, then he could be like, oh, well, we didn't read this time and blah, 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 and you're going to have to take that shit. Because you did not reinforce what you said you were claiming you were going to do. Therefore, your son can have the same opinion.
I am real good at observing and disarming in arguments. And that is where I have seen that come up before to David, that Ethan would slap back with that stuff, and I was like, well, I guess you need to start following through with your word.
Yes.
Because then he can't throw it back at you. You have taken the weapon away.
Yes.
You never provided it in the first place.
Bingo. That's what he's not understanding.
My son's uncle, or my kid's uncle, he is adopted.
Okay.
It's never been a secret that he was adopted. That wasn't hidden from him. He's known. I mean, first off, he's black and he was adopted into a white family. So it's not like it was some, hidden thing. It was obvious he wasn't mom and dad's biological child.
Well, that kind of does, spell it out for you. I'm not going to lie. How would you? I'm sorry you came out with dark skin. We gave you too much of a tan when you came out. I mean, what the fuck? Really?
Between 10 and 12 years old, he was made aware that his biological family still lived in the area. Yeah. They didn't know all of the members, but there was a contact.
Yes.
Grandma was still around.
Yeah. Someone he can get a hold of.
Well, no, he wasn't told he could get a hold of her. His mom kept the contact information, and because there was a lot of problems in that family. There was a reason he was taken away by the state. Okay? And those were still active problems. But from that point on, that child, every time there was an argument, would throw up in her face that you know where my biological family is. And finally, he was about 16 years old. I pulled her to the side and I said, take him to meet them.
Yeah.
And she was like, the look on her face was like pure horror. And I was like, no. You are not getting anywhere constructively in any argument you make with him. Because every time you guys get into an argument, even when he's in the wrong, the very first thing he says to you is, you know where my biological family is. Take him to meet them. Take away that argument so that you can get someone
No,
productive
no.
with the other problems.
No, 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 no,
So
no, no,
she
no,
took
no,
him.
no, 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 no.